Hey, this is Dr. Barry. I'm a board certified family physician with 20 years of experience of taking care of patients just like you. And I want to talk for a few minutes today with you about how to eat fat to lose fat. If you're overweight, if you're obese, if you're morbidly obese, what you want to do is you want to lose fat. You don't want to lose muscle. You don't want to lose bone density or bone strength. You want to lose the stored energy on your body, which is the fat that you carry on your booty, on your belly, or worst of all, inside of your liver or inside of your pancreas. The fat inside your belly, although it doesn't look as bad in the mirror, is actually much more medically dangerous to you than the fat that you see in the mirror and that you maybe perhaps hate so much. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how eating fat to lose fat actually works and why you should do it and why it's actually very healthy. I'm going to link down below in the show notes to all the research I used to make this video so you can look these things up and verify them for yourself. Now, let's jump into this. So basically, when you eat, every single meal you eat, every single snack you have consists of three different macromolecules: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Those are the three macronutrients. And so every meal or every snack or everything you drink has those three things in it, if it has any energy at all that your body can use for energy or to use to build your body parts. And so, what we're going to do with this diet, eat fat to lose fat, is you're going to turn down the carbohydrate intake knob. And if the faster you want to lose the fat, then you need to turn down the carbohydrate intake knob even more and more and more. If you turn it down to 20 grams of total carbohydrates a day or less, then that is a ketogenic diet. If you turn it down as close to 0 grams of total carbohydrate intake a day as you can get it, then that is a carnivore diet. Both of these diets are exemplary for helping you lose fat while also maintaining your muscle, and some people even put on some muscle naturally, and then also helping to maintain your bone strength. But you want to burn the fat. If that's what you're after, then this is how you do it. And so by turning down the carbohydrate intake, you're going to have to eat more protein or fats. Now, I know that you've probably been told by your doctor and your dietitian and your mama too that you shouldn't eat fat, that fat's bad for you. But research that's been hidden for decades is now coming out. New research is being done that shows us that fat is actually good for human beings. If you're eating good, healthy types of fat, which I go into in other videos on this channel, then it's very beneficial for your body in hundreds and hundreds of ways. Most all of your sex hormones, most all of your adrenal hormones come directly from cholesterol. And so you want to be eating lots of good, healthy, saturated fat so that you have a good source of cholesterol, because if not, your hormone health will suffer. So, how does this work? Well, here's how it works. And I'm going to give you 7 ways that this is going to help you lose fat and keep the fat off in a fun, healthy, fulfilling, sustainable way. The first thing it does, and probably the most important thing that eating more fat does and eating fewer carbohydrates does, is it lowers your insulin level in your bloodstream back to low normal. Insulin does hundreds of things in your body, but one of the biggest things that it does that concerns you right now is that it helps your body store fat, right? And so anytime your insulin is elevated, it's very hard to burn the fat that you've already stored on your body. Anytime you eat carbohydrates, those carbohydrates break down immediately into sugars. When the sugars hit your bloodstream, your insulin goes up. And that turns off your ability to meaningfully burn fat that you've already stored in or on your body. And so we want to keep the insulin level as low normal as we can. And by eating far fewer carbohydrates than you're currently eating and eating far more healthy fats than you're currently eating, you're going to keep the insulin level low normal, not dangerously low, just in the low range of normal, that's kind of the sweet spot for burning stored fat, which is what you're after. Next thing that eating lots of fat and way fewer carbohydrates does for you is it optimizes the ranges of your 2 hunger hormones. They're called leptin and ghrelin. And you can Google these and read about these and quickly see that optimizing these into the right levels really makes it much easier to be on a long-term way of eating like this. If you're constantly hungry, if you're starving to death, you are not going to be able to continue that diet. And indeed, that's why many people find that the semi-starvation diets like Weight Watchers, Biggest Loser, Jenny Craig, Flexitarian, Ornish, all of these, they'll help short term, but you can't do them long term because you're starving all the time, because your leptin is low and your ghrelin is high. It's hard. You can't starve a human for the rest of their lives, and indeed that's why there'll never be a reunion show for the Biggest Loser television show, because they've all regained the weight, because that diet consisted of starving them. And you can't do that for the rest of your life. But if you're eating a diet that's high in healthy fat and very low in carbohydrates, your leptin and ghrelin go right where you want them to be. So you're full, you're happy, you're satiated, you're not starving all the time. And that makes this way of eating very sustainable. The next thing that eating lots of fat and very little carbohydrate does is it actually speeds up your metabolism. You're going to actually burn fat faster by eating more fat. And I know that may be backwards to everything you've ever been told your entire life, but all the things you were taught your entire life about losing weight, how are they working for you, right? We have an obesity epidemic in modern society, and it's because we eat too many carbohydrates. Slash your carbohydrates and eat lots more healthy fats, and you're going to speed up your metabolic rate. So when you're in bed asleep, you're actually going to be burning more calories than if you were up walking around on your old way of eating. That is very powerful and very helpful. The next thing that eating lots of healthy fats and slashing the carbohydrates is going to do for you is it's going to raise your human growth hormone level and raise your testosterone level in a good way. And women, don't freak out. This is not going to make you grow a beard and have an Adam's apple. It doesn't work that way. It's just going to move your testosterone and your human growth hormone, or your HGH, into the optimal ranges so that it makes it easier for you to burn the stored fat that you're trying to get rid of. The next thing that this way of eating does is it helps you eat fewer times a day. When you eat a breakfast of bacon and eggs, you're not hungry for hours and hours and hours. And so it kind of inevitably, effortlessly increases the amount of time that you're not eating during the day, which goes back to the number one point. You're keeping your insulin level very low normal for many more hours a day by eating lots of healthy fats and slashing your carbohydrate intake. And so you'll wind up eating maybe 2 meals a day, or maybe even 1 meal a day. Some people are just not hungry. And as long as you feel good, your mental clarity is good, your energy is good, you're sleeping good, and your skin and hair looks good, you're getting enough nutrition. And so that's actually the ultimate test. How do you feel and how do you look? On this way of eating, you're going to feel great and look great, and you're just not going to have to eat 3, 4, 5 times a day. The next thing that this way of eating does is it's going to almost eliminate that thoughtless snacking you do. If there's something there, you just reach and get it and eat it. It's almost a habit. It's almost an addiction for some of us, right? But when you're eating lots of healthy fat with each meal and you're eating until you're comfortably full, you're not going to snack as much. And that goes back to point one. You're going to keep your insulin level from spiking all the time, giving you the opportunity to burn the stored fat on your booty as fuel. And that's how you get rid of fat. The only way to get rid of the fat that you're trying to get rid of is to burn it as energy. And the only way to do that is to not be snacking constantly through the day. Even if they're keto snacks, they're going to raise your insulin level probably enough to really slow down the fat burning that you're trying to get going. The final way, number 7, is when you eat lots of healthy fat, you're going to make your brain work better. You're going to be in a better mood. You're not going to be as anxious. You're going to have more stamina and stability. You're going to have more perseverance. You're going to have more discipline. Think about that. It's much easier to do something if you're 100% in and all gung-ho to do it. But if you're tired and you feel like crap and you can't think straight, you're going to be reaching for the snacks. And so my advice to you, if you want to lose fat, you have to eat lots more healthy fats and you have to eat lots fewer carbohydrates. That's how you do it. And all those pictures you see on Instagram and Twitter of people who have lost crazy amounts of weight, yet they don't have any redundant skin left, that's keto. That is high fat, low carb. That is a carnivore diet. That's how that happens. And so if you're interested in burning fat and keeping it off for the long term, you've got to follow the advice in this video and all the advice on my other videos. I'm going to put a link either here or here to my Keto 101 video series. And so if you're brand new to this way of eating, you're like, wait, what? Eat more fat? What? Watch the first few videos in this series and you'll understand not only the science of it, not only the common sense of it, but also the ancestral appropriateness of this. Our ancestors have been eating as much fatty meat as they could get their hands on for the last 250,000 years. This is not a new thing. This is not a fad. This is how human beings are supposed to eat. You might even call it the proper human diet. So I'm going to put all the links below to the research and the link to my Keto 101 video series so you can start learning how to do this properly so that you can get the fat off and keep it off for the rest of your life. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to get a notification every time I post a new video like this, then click that little subscribe button down there and click the bell right beside it and choose all notifications so that every time I post a new video and have a bright idea, you'll be one of the very first people to know. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.